Population growth refers to the increase in the number of people living in the world, and it is happening very rapidly. Over the last century, the world's population has skyrocketed, mainly because more people are being born than dying. To understand population growth, it's important to look at several factors like the birth rate, death rate, and migration. The birth rate is the number of babies born per 1,000 people in a year. A high birth rate means more people are being born, which can cause the population to grow. The death rate, on the other hand, is the number of deaths per 1,000 people in a year. If the death rate is lower than the birth rate, the population will grow. If more people are dying than being born, the population will shrink. The difference between the birth rate and the death rate is called natural increase or natural decrease. If the birth rate is higher than the death rate, we have a natural increase, meaning the population is growing. If the death rate is higher than the birth rate, we have a natural decrease, which means the population is shrinking. For example, if a country has a birth rate of 20 per 1,000 people and a death rate of 10 per 1,000, the natural increase would be 10 per 1,000. Migration also affects population growth. Migration is when people move from one place to another. If more people move into a country than leave it, the population will grow. If more people leave than arrive, the population will shrink. Population growth is different in LEDCs, less economically developed countries, and MEDCs, more economically developed countries. In LEDCs, population growth tends to be much faster. This is because birth rates are often higher, as many families have more children. However, in recent years, death rates have been falling in LEDCs due to improvements in healthcare, so more babies survive and live longer. As a result, the population in these countries grows rapidly. In MEDCs, the situation is different. Birth rates are usually lower because people tend to have fewer children, and death rates are also low due to better healthcare. Population growth in these countries is often slower, and some MEDCs even face population decline as more people die than are born. To understand how populations grow or change over time, geographers use something called the demographic transition model, DTM. This model describes how population growth changes as a country develops. It has 5 stages. In stage 1, both birth rates and death rates are high, so the population stays fairly stable. This stage is typical of pre-industrial societies. In stage 2, death rates start to fall due to improvements in healthcare, sanitation, and food supply, but birth rates remain high. This causes rapid population growth and is typical of early developing countries. In stage 3, birth rates begin to decline as people choose to have smaller families, but the population is still growing, just more slowly. This is typical of many developing countries. In stage 4, both birth rates and death rates are low, leading to a stable population. This is typical of most MEDCs. In stage 5, in some models, the birth rate becomes lower than the death rate, leading to a natural decrease in population. Some highly developed countries like Japan and Germany are entering this stage. In summary, population growth is shaped by the balance between birth rates, death rates, and migration. LEDCs typically experience faster population growth than MEDCs due to higher birth rates and improving healthcare. The demographic transition model helps explain these changes and how they relate to a country's development over time. Understanding these patterns helps geographers and governments plan for the future, including how to manage resources and services for growing or shrinking populations.